Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, Today I wanted to talk about how we create our reality with our thoughts. Whether we're conscious of this or unconscious of this, our realities are all different, even though we live in the same world, and are all manifested by what we think on a conscious and subconscious level. So to give you an example of this, if you want to do a little experiment to prove this to yourself, for the next week I want you to think about yellow cars. Just have them in your head, or something to that measure, something that can show up in your reality. I just want you to have it in your mind every day for a few minutes. Picture a yellow car just driving past you, and I want you to see how many times you start to notice specifically yellow cars. If you do this experiment, you might start to find that you're seeing yellow cars a whole lot more than you ever did, and this is because you are thinking about them, so they're showing up in your reality. This is what I mean by we create our own reality. Even though we're all in the same world, our reality is based on what we as an individual think about on the daily, and what we put most of our energy into thinking about. So just by using that example, I want you to think about all the things you may think about subconsciously and consciously, and just ask yourself if they do in fact show up in your reality, the things that you think about. And you can write a comment or something to tell me if this is true for you or if it isn't. I'm very curious to know. Just a little experiment. But yeah, I wanted to talk about how each one of us are going through our own version of planet Earth, of what's happening, of the events around us, even though we're all on the same planet Earth. And a lot of us are suffering, suffering because we're lacking something, or we don't have, that's what lack means, we don't have something, or those kind of things, that we're not at a place that we want to be yet. And I just wanted to talk about how this could be because of what our thoughts and subconscious thinking is doing. So, for example, let's talk about money, because that's always a hot topic. And everyone seems to think they're lacking money, they're lacking financial freedom. But then if we're constantly thinking that we're lacking money and we're lacking financial freedom, how is our reality supposed to show us that in fact we're not? So in order to change our reality, we need to first change our thinking and our programming. And a lot of us have had this sort of programming put into us since we were kids, picking up on parents' thought patterns and behaviors, and growing up and making them our own. I was recently hanging out with some of my friends, and it was really great to see them and everything. But I noticed this sort of pattern of thinking where they were constantly trying to save money and save on everything. And it's not an uncommon thing to want to save money, but it isn't nice to feel like you can't do certain things because you need to save the money. So what I'm getting at is, it's kind of this lack mentality that we all have. Like, there's some sort of ceiling of wealth we can have, or information or energy or whatever we're lacking, there's only enough for certain people, there's not enough for everyone. But where does this mentality really come from, that there's a stop-off point to receiving? Because nowadays money is turning more and more into a energy. I mean, it is an energy, it's not really a physical thing. Even money, as in notes and coins, if you read what it says on the bill, it says in owance of, or it's basically an IOU. It's not real money. And yeah, nowadays everyone uses their phones to pay. Money is very, we all have it, but we don't see it because it's more of an energy, and it makes it even more so that to attract money to us, we need to be on the same energy level in order to receive it. A lot of people have this sort of lack mentality where they feel like they're lacking, not enough of this, not enough of that. And that brings me back to my first point about our thoughts create our reality. So if our thoughts are always, I'm lacking this and I'm lacking that, surely we're going to be more susceptible seeing the lack in our lives rather than seeing the gain. And I really strongly believe that our universe, our world, is of everything. Everything that we can have is there. Everything that we want is there. And we control this by our thoughts. What we want, what we need, what shows up in our reality is all controlled by our thoughts. So that's why I think that we should start to become aware of this subconscious thinking of, I don't have this, so I can't do that. Because it ends up being true. I think in order to change that lack mentality, we need to start thinking, I do have this, I have money to spend on myself. Money flows into my life. It's constantly flowing into my life. And just do it like an experiment, When that thought comes up, like, oh, I can't spend this because I don't have the money, or I'm saving and I can't, do that or this. When that thought comes up, challenge it. Challenge that thought, because it's literally like our thoughts are the remote controller of what we see, what we get, what we experience in this universe. So just give it a go. Change that lack mentality to a gain mentality. Like, I have so much to gain. I have, beautiful people around me. I'm living my best life. I can travel. I can do what I want to do because I have the money. I have the energy. I'm a vibrant person who is full of gain, and things flow through me and out of me and back to me. I really believe that's the way we should start looking at money, not like something we need to hoard and collect and be like that with it, but rather it flows through us, like energy flows through us, and we can create energy anyhow we want to. So yeah, it's just some food for thought. Do a little experiment with yourself and see if by just changing your mindset, anything changes. I personally have done this and I've noticed change in my life. And I don't want to gatekeep that. I want other people to also see this, because we're all one, helping each other out with the way we're thinking, letting go of old beliefs and old patterns. It's evolving us as a species, and as planet Earth, as the universe. We're all evolving together and going through this massive shift. And I think this is just part of that shift, where it's changing for the better, and we're realizing that we're way more connected than we think. So yeah, have a think about it. Let me know your thoughts and have a beautiful day. I love you guys. Peace out.